Hello and welcome, Kat. I'm super excited to have you here.
Yes, I'm always ADHD ready. So,
Well, I think first of all, like big shout out to lovely Therese who actually connected us. Without her, we wouldn't know each other. And so yeah, let people know where in this lovely world are you and what's your business.
yes, so I am right outside of the Washington, D.C. area. And my business is to turn people's network into their net worth. And people have probably heard that sentence before. My approach to that is actively creating community. So, creating that engagement, because if your network doesn't remember who you are, they can't give you your net worth. So I do that essentially from two kind of facets. One, I leverage what's called firework experiences. So these are strategic marketing approaches that help you not only build community, so those idealist kind of clients, but also gives them the value that they need in order to make a buying decision. The other side of what I do that goes beautifully well with this, my two puzzle pieces, is I have leveraged a CRM and developed a CRM platform that helps with fail proofing your follow up. Because it's great to have those amazing coffee chats, but the last thing you want to do is be like, oh yeah, who was it that I talked to 6 months ago? So automating those components that follow up, but strategically breaking it so that we still infuse the human component, right? So it's not just this set it, forget it, be super bro markety and pitching all the time, but really looking at nurturing that relationship in a way that feels aligned and like you're treating that person with a heartbeat and not just a credit card swipe. The other component as well, so that's, kind of with the customer acquisition side. The other thing that I look at too is the what I call relationship marketing or your referral partners and keeping top of mind with them. A lot of people just kind of wish they would get more referrals, wait for the phone to ring, and there's actually a system and a process, and a lot of it can be automated that helps you with staying top of mind with those referral partners so that you're the person they're referring to versus someone they talked to last week because they forgot who you were. So again, doing all of this in a way that helps with keeping in touch, nurturing the relationship. And it's not about having thousands of people to manage, but really identifying who those key relationships are that really help scale your business faster.
I love all of that. And so yes, you're mentioning the CRM tool, but in my experience, I always say what looks like a tech problem never is. So I'd be curious in your experience, like what is it that makes this a problem? Like why do people not follow up? And why do we just like everybody agrees, oh yeah, we should be following up, and then that falls through the crack, people fall through the crack. Why do you think that is? Like what's the key piece there that people
It's
overlook?
really having to do with us, right? It not is usually anything to do with anyone else. And what I mean is that it actually comes down to your own personal triggers. So a lot of it has to do with I don't want to be sleazy, I don't want to be salesy, I don't want to be pushy, I don't want to be annoying, things like that. I don't know what to say, so you don't say anything, you don't do anything, and really it's starting to look at changing the relationship that most people have with the sales process. Sales is amazing and good. It's how you grow and scale. It's the approach. And so a lot of marketers have saturated the space and said, you have to close on the first call. You have to do this, you have to do that. All these laws and these rules that really trigger lack, right? This yucky, salesy kind of feeling. And it's really around changing our relationship with the approach. And so you might have a money story, you might have all these things, and I'm not here to fix those things. What I'm here to show is how the things that we're resisting are actually where the revenue is. So, it takes at least 9 to 15 touch points. And most people, I think it's like 86% of salespeople, and everybody who has their business is a salesperson. So go ahead and place that crown on your head. 86% of people give up after one follow up. So if you're not following up, but the salesperson who's going to close the sale? So the problem is most of us are preparing people to buy from someone else because we've engaged, we've shown them value, we've demonstrated that this is a solution that they want, but because we don't follow up, they start looking for that solution from someone else. And so you're doing every other salesperson a favor by doing the hard work for them, which is helping that person become solution aware. So it's really around looking at most of us have ADHD. Entrepreneurs are 300% more likely to have it. And if you don't officially have the diagnosis, maybe you're TikTok diagnosed, you likely have the tendencies, right? So things like procrastination, getting easily distracted, not wanting to do certain things, just claim a variation of ADHD. It's like 50 shades of ADHD kind of thing. So really looking at what are the systems and processes that allow you to still do the work that you love, but know that people aren't falling through the cracks, because the last thing we want to do is leave a good lead behind. So it's really around, one, our own triggers in terms of our relationship with sales, and two, that the systems and processes aren't there that help us keep focused on the most efficient revenue generating activities. And so part of what my system does is it helps organize, it creates tasks. It's the first thing that you see. You get to click it, you get celebrations, there's a dopamine hit. It makes it easy to keep people moving through the process by just clicking around a little bit. And one of the other things, I think maybe the third thing is, and I mentioned it before, is we don't know what to say. So one of the things that I love fixing in terms of a problem is a lot of people don't know how to go from talking about the weather to whether we should work together. So that weather to weather turn of the conversation is where most people get stuck. And it's one of the reasons why I have over 2,000 templates that I give my clients, because it anticipates every kind of situation where the conversation might stall out. And so it's really about, how do I reactivate? How do I re-engage? How do I stay consistent? And that has to do with all of the things that I've just laid out. One, changing the relationship with sales. Two, putting the systems and automation in place so that you don't forget. And then three, knowing what to say.
You just throw so many little gems in between there. This is one of those I have to. So what I'm hearing is, I can see, like, who is this perfect for? I can see your solopreneur, somebody who sells something a little bit more higher ticket, where you need that CRM. So who is this? I mean, I think the system does make sense for anybody who runs a business, but like,
right.
In your, like, who's your perfect
my person?
client?
Yeah, so I have worked across a variety of different industries, everywhere from the home services to the wellness space to the health space, so like wellness spas and naturopaths and chimney companies and HVAC companies and coaches and consultants and alpaca owner consultants and, just construction, managers and things like that. And it's a universal problem in terms of the follow-up. Right. And so fail-proofing your follow-up is really important when it comes to not just client acquisition, but also the referral and relationship marketing side of things. So I tend to work with people who I love the work that they do. So if I'm excited to work with you, that to me is a qualifier. So yes, it's a little bit of an energetics thing, but that's what I get to do as a business owner. I get to decide who I want to work with. And so when I look at them, and I see certain qualifiers, right? It's established, they're generating revenue in their business, and it's really just about amplification. Then for me, that's where this solution comes into place, because technology amplifies. It can't replace what's missing. So I work with people at a variety of different levels, even in their businesses, either teaching them how to fish or doing what's called in consulting a lift and shift, where I'm doing a custom build out of their CRM. They lift the problem and they put it on my plate, I fix it, and then I shift it back over to them. So, it's really, for me, having ADHD, this gives me the variety of different industries and different problems and different people to work with. And so it's always super invigorating, because though it's the same problem, there's a different approach. So I'll give an example, like in the kind of home services space, it's, less about kind of doing maybe a firework experience and more about making sure that the automation is in place for getting Google reviews, making sure that you're staying in touch with previous clients and giving them the opportunity to buy again, looking at people who maybe, got an estimate but didn't actually book. And so looking at those different scenarios and creating copy and an engagement series that helps them make that next buying decision. So it is not necessarily about someone seeing value in what you do, but oftentimes what I see is it's a timing component. So it's a matter of giving them the space and the time to come to that buying decision and staying relevant. So again, they didn't get a quote from the chimney company, and then they just, they saw another truck and they got a quote from them, and then they bought from that person because that person followed up because they were ready then. But if we stay relevant to them and we stay on their radar, when they become ready to buy, they'll buy from you because you kept driving value. You kept showing up. Your name was in their inbox. They would get a text message. And this is not about sending 15 text messages and 25 emails within a 48-hour period, right? This is not about, it's that delicate balance of staying in touch and being genuinely interested. What we want to think about is we are entering someone's life. So are we a part of their life? And so we want to keep that regular cadence of staying in touch and doing it in a way that isn't just buy for me, buy for me, buy for me, buy for me.
Yeah, I mean, that makes so much sense. And I think something that I see all the time, people are always so worried to annoy people with too much stuff. And I'm thinking you need to be more worried about relevance. And because
Right.
if I kind of love what you're talking about, and I think most of the time, the much bigger problem is that people end up getting an email after a month and they go, who the hell are you? Right. So that's usually the much bigger problem.
Right. Right.
And like it feels like what you're doing is like, no, 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 we're not going to let it get to that. Right.
Exactly.
So where can people get in touch and figure out, what you can do for them and how it all works and hire you and work with you?
Well, one of the things that I love about my clients is a lot of them do visibility, right? So they're speaking, they're podcasting, they're writing content, they're sharing their thought leadership. So I always like to follow my own process and give before I ever ask for anything. And so I have a monthly visibility. It's for podcasters and speakers who are using visibility as a strategy to grow their community, generate leads, and build relationships. It's complimentary. It's every second Friday of the month at 12 p.m. Eastern. And so if you are interested in joining that and joining this amazing community of people who are doing a lot of great stuff and really awesome like me, then you can just find that at visibilitymixer.com and register for free. And once you actually register, you get access to a secret training on how to convert as a podcast host or guest or doing both.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that makes so much sense. And I just love that people using technology to get your headspace and time free to actually connect with people. And that makes so much sense to me. So thank you. Thank you for coming. And yes, please go and get in touch with Kat. She's awesome.
Thank you.